Border Czar and Homeland Security secretaries say they plan to prioritize deporting criminals, but the Biden administration says it's already been doing that. Let's bring in Leon Rodriguez, former director of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services under President Obama, for more on that. Leon, thanks for coming on. Trump has repeatedly said that he plans to declare a national emergency and use the military to enact his mass deportations. He hasn't revealed many details beyond that, though. So how would that work? How would declaring an emergency enable him to then enact mass deportations?
Well, I think there are going to be a lot of legal questions as to whether and to what extent he can use the military for that purpose and declare a national emergency. But I think the idea is to leverage resources that the military has to bolster what Immigration and Customs Enforcement and Department of Homeland Security more generally have. We do have to remember back to the experience of the first Trump administration. They attempted to use the National Guard. In fact, then Governor Kristi Noem sent the South Dakota National Guard to support border control efforts. And generally, that is remembered as a sort of a non-entity in the sense that there really was not much that troops not trained in border control, not trained in immigration enforcement really could do to bolster those efforts. And so the question is, how is this time going to be different?
Now, the mass deportation plan, as you say, right, you're expecting it to face a lot of opposition in court. How do you see those legal battles playing out?
Well, I think those legal travel challenges will look at what is the authority to declare a national emergency? What are the circumstances that support such a declaration? And to then question in court whether those standards have actually been met. Given the way we've been managing the border, managing immigration really now for decades. But then there's another layer to this, which is the legal challenges for the actual machinery of deportation. Each individual who is put into deportation proceedings has due process rights that they undoubtedly will be asserting, that attorneys will be asserting on their behalf. In fact, I know that immigration lawyers and others willing to work pro bono are mobilizing to resist those deportation efforts when they begin. And I do think they will begin.
And Trump also says he plans to end temporary protected status for millions of legal immigrants. So break down who falls under that protection and the potential impact of ending it.
So temporary protected status protects individuals for whom the Department of Homeland Security has declared some catastrophic or extraordinary circumstance in their country, which makes nationals of those countries unable to return, and therefore grants those individuals permission to remain in the United States and work authorization. And countries that have had those declarations include Venezuela, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua. And in fact, Haiti is another one. In fact, there were efforts during the first Trump administration, almost all of which were successfully stopped in court to remove those temporary protected status grants and the resulting work authorization. But given the inclusion of Venezuela now, which was not a factor in the first Trump administration, we're really talking about many hundreds of thousands of people who currently have the authority to be legally in the United States who may lose it if the incoming administration is successful in implementing those terminations of temporary protected status.
So what's your response to critics who say that that temporary protected status has become a backdoor, essentially, for immigration from lots of these countries and has not been so temporary?
I mean, I think that really reflects the conditions in those countries. Those are countries that have experienced either war, severe natural disasters, the impact of which remains to this day. So in essence, the conditions that supported the implementation of temporary protected status continues until now. So under the law, the Department of Homeland Security has, in my mind, been justified in continuing those temporary protected status grants. I mean, Venezuela is certainly a good, most recent example. It's undisputed that this is a country that is in breakdown in a number of respects.
All right, former Citizenship and Immigration Services Director Leon Rodriguez. We appreciate it, Leon. Thank you.